Hi, I'm Donovan. I'm a fiction writer and a cultural fellow at GCU. This is one of a series of wee videos designed to support and encourage anybody who wants to write, not too sure where to start, or is already writing and feels a bit stuck and wonders where to go. Previous videos I've looked at getting started, and I'd just like to encourage people not to be too self-critical, just to go with it and see where it takes you. Once you've got a bit of writing done, maybe a few pages, maybe a lot more than that, you may feel that you want to look at it, take it a bit further, and try and improve on it. And this video is focusing on that. Last time I spoke a wee bit about what I felt was the importance in prose of introducing some dialogue and how that could help perhaps bring things to life. And I want to start today by giving you one more example of that. This example is just very, very short and quite simple, and it's just something that I had made up as an illustration. And I wanted to take the example of somebody, a young person, teenager maybe, talking about their mum and just giving a factual description first of all, and then we'll look at how dialogue can help with that. My mum is 5'6" and has blue eyes and dark hair. She dresses smartly for work, but at home wears leggings and a t-shirt. At the weekend, she does my grand shopping for her. She doesn't really watch TV much, but she likes Strictly. She's a good cook, but she doesn't have much time for it during the week. She loves going to pictures. Very simple, straightforward, quite factual. But let's move and see if we can bring some dialogue into that, and how does that actually maybe bring the mum more to life. I'll just read you this bit. Get a move on. Mum stood at the door, dressed in her work clothes, hair neatly tied back. I stuffed my gym kit into my bag and we dived out the house. Mum slammed the door shut behind us and started to sprint up the road. Are you training for the Olympics or something? I muttered, but of course she heard me and shouted, It's your fault. I don't know why you're always late. I got you up early enough. I hope you can see how moving from just sort of telling us about what the mum is like, if you actually start introducing that, we get a sense of what she sounds like, and also a bit more sense of movement. So you're really getting a much more vivid picture of her. So if you find that you've got something maybe in your writing that it's maybe, perhaps there's nothing wrong with it, but it maybe feels a bit static, dialogue can really help with that and just bringing us into the place. You'll also notice that that piece was written in the first person, so it's the character of the teenager who's telling us the story. That's one way of doing it. Other people prefer to write as if the author is telling us things. So that's something to play about with as well if you've got a piece of writing. Even trying out different things for a paragraph. Okay, second thing that I'd like to mention today is when we're describing something or somebody, a lot of the time we're very drawn to adjectives, as describing words. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It can be very effective. But also, I think it's really useful when you're looking at your work to look at verbs. Verbs are your friends. I want to give you a very simple example of that. And again, also to show there's no right or wrong. It's what do you want to do with your writing? How do you want it to be? I'm looking at a very simple description here. Just a sentence describing something. And I've chosen, here's my visual aid, ivy. Okay, ivy. Now we all know ivy and how it climbs over the place, crawls around buildings and so on. So I just want you to think about describing ivy on a wall. And I'll give you some examples of using adjectives. You could say The ivy was thick. The ivy was lush and beautiful. The ivy was like velvet. The ivy was thin and ill-kept. All very good descriptions, no problem about them in the right context. But let's look about what happens if you get rid of the adjectives and think about verbs and how that changes the mood of it. You could simply say, ivy covered the building. Very factual. Or you could say, ivy crept across the building or crawled across the building. You could say it straggled across the building. The ivy wandered across the building. The ivy engulfed the building. Now, not only does each one of those give us a different picture, it can also help to give us a different mood. So ivy that crept across a building, suggesting it was all very sort of slow and, it's also maybe slightly creepy. Whereas struggled up the building gives us a different sense. So if you're describing a house, perhaps as part of a story or part of something you're writing, you maybe want to suggest not only a basic description of it, but perhaps give us a bit of mood, give us a bit of tone, and that can come in through very simple word choices. It doesn't mean you have to give a huge description, but each word is really, really important. And as I say, it's not always the adjectives. Adjectives are great in their place, but think about your verbs, think about those kinds of words, and think about words that describe movement in some way. I think those are maybe two ideas that you could think about when you are looking at your work and wondering about what could you do with it. And I'd also like to emphasise the idea of playfulness. Don't feel that if you've got a piece of writing and you want to try things out, there's one right way and one wrong way of doing it. Play with it. Try one, then try another. Take one paragraph and work on that and see how you like it compared to the way that you did it before. I think that's the kind of essence of it. It's about relax with it a bit and have fun with it if you can. And don't feel you're not writing an essay that you're sending in for something. You're doing something that is expressing what you want to express, and enjoy that. There may come a point in the future that you feel, well, I really want to do something with this. I want to take it further. I want to show it to somebody. I want to send it to somebody, and that's great. But for now, enjoy, play, but above all, just keep doing it. Just stick at it. Even if you've only got a short time, you can do a lot in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And I hope you enjoy that. Obviously, what I can do in these videos is a bit limited compared to what you can do in a workshop with everybody around you. But I hope it gives you some help. And I also hope that maybe at some point in the future, I might be able to do some face-to-face workshops, and maybe some of you by that point might want to be coming along to them. But whatever you want to do, and even if you just want to write for yourself, I think that's great, and it's a wonderful source of expression and enjoyment, even if you don't show it to other people, or if you only show it to your nearest and dearest. So enjoy your writing, and I hope this has been of some help to you. Bye.